Oh, I figured it out. Do you know who I am?
Who are you?
I'm the fucking little the baby with that turns into a hamster.
Actually, yeah. Actually, that works. That works for me, actually.
And actually, I'm the three heads.
Yeah, you're the three heads.
You are the three heads, yeah.
If I was bald,
Yeah.
well, when I'm bald,
Yeah. Am I still the stink spirit?
yeah.
Can I, do a good one this time.
Hey.
I don't know. It's a little crookedy.
What the fuck?
That was your best one yet. That was your best one yet. Which says a lot because we've done this a bunch of times.
Well, welcome back, my little Shweebs, to
What's
another
good?
episode of
Poking holes in movies I love.
Fuck you. Dude, this is our first Ghibli movie.
Yeah.
Also, welcome back to Animation Man.
Yes, what's up?
But this is our first Ghibli movie.
Yeah.
Did we figure out what was it? Ghibli or Ghibli?
Ghibli.
It is
Ghibli.
Ghibli.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you know
And-
that I love this movie.
Yes.
It should be stated, have loved this movie
Yeah.
from time.
So
Like,
this is actually your first anime that you've ever seen in your life, right? And-
Yeah, I'll set the scene for you. So I have a friend who is like largely influential in many nerd things in my life. His name's Umar. Shout out to Umar. He's a homie.
Yeah.
He watched the show. Love Umar.
Yeah.
He every year used to host a Lord of the Rings marathon.
Yep.
And we would go in and sit in his basement and eat junk food and watch all three Lord of the Rings extended editions.
Which is wild to me. That's a lot of fucking hours.
It's a good fucking time though,
Yeah.
dude. Honestly, if you commit and you go and that's
Yeah.
the plan, it's a good fucking
One
time.
of the best ways to spend 12 hours.
100%. And so what would happen is it would be over and we wouldn't just leave. We would hang out and
Yeah.
sometimes even spend the night. And so we would watch other things.
Yeah.
And one time he put on Princess Mononoke. And I wasn't watching it. I was like done with watching. We were hanging out over in the other area or whatever, but I definitely caught clips of it and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Because
Yeah.
I'd never seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
And then he told me about it. And then a couple weeks later, he came to my house. I was living with my parents still.
Yeah.
And Sarah and I were together. And he brought Princess Mononoke, or sorry, Spirited Away.
Yeah.
And insisted we sit down and watch it with him.
Yeah.
That's literally my introduction to anime.
That's a
Crazy.
good introduction, especially
Yeah.
to like, because the story goes like, if for those of you who've been with us since the beginning, like Jordy wanted to get into anime and asked me some questions because he knew I was a weeb. But as far as anime goes, to start off with, this is a high bar.
And honestly,
it is a
I
high
think
bar.
it shows
Yeah.
in the way our show unfolds. Like,
Yeah.
you're right. The bar was set really high for me. Yeah.
I think Ghibli's an interesting one too. Like I've always been a little, I've always found it extra interesting because I didn't grow up with Ghibli at all.
Sure.
I came to it much later in life. I was probably like late high school, maybe like early university before I was really
Yeah.
starting to deep dive on these. I didn't see Spirited Away till first year university.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
Yeah. And let me tell you, I saw it and I was not stone cold sober. I'll tell you that much. And
I will say the
When-
same for
when
many
are you
rewatches for me as well,
sober?
too.
let me tell you, when you're not stone cold sober and you're watching this movie for the first time,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're launched into another dimension.
100%.
Yeah.
I literally, I remember having to walk out of the room several times because I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Am I watching right now? It's
Totally.
mind blowing, right?
It's a trip, man.
It is.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
even watching it now, actually sober,
Yeah.
years later,
Yeah.
it's still a trip.
100%.
And it's still magical. But I was always blown away that I met kids that were like, oh no, I grew up as a 5-year-old and we had My Neighbor Totoro.
Yeah.
Yep.
Was something we
That was-
grew up watching right alongside Lion King and Jungle Book and all
Yeah.
that. And I'm just like, never in a million years would my white ass parents
Yeah.
have fucking bought this
Yeah.
and been like, yeah, the kids will like this.
Yeah.
They'll like this more than Lion King.
For sure. So here's the cool thing, and you hit on something there too, is like I also get to do that with my daughter.
Yeah.
Because
It's
my
so
kid
cool.
loves this movie. She loves the Disney shit too, but also like, and like granted, she's a little sensitive, so some scary shit is too much for her.
Yeah.
And the last time we tried to watch this movie together, she bailed out partway through.
Okay.
But
I was going to say, there's
But
some
I mean,
scary
No
imagery.
Face is kind of scary,
Dude, he
right?
eats people
Like,
and then he barfs them up
yeah.
later. It's kind of fucked up. But again,
Oh wait,
overall,
spoiler
Yeah.
alert!
Actually, fair enough.
I've been bad at that lately.
That's all right.
Like
By now, the Shweebs know.
Yeah, spoiler alert. We're gonna spoil fucking
Yeah.
everything, but then we get the odd listener that like will jump in the like halfway through our
Yeah, that's
releases,
true.
right? So
Well, I'm sorry to that person. So anyway, so what I'm going to do actually at the top of the episode here, instead of me doing a description, we're going to try and call my daughter and see what she has to say about it.
oh yeah,
let's see what happens here.
Eva,
Oh.
she's so cute.
Let's
You
see
guys
if she,
are in.
let's see if
you're
she
in-
picks up.
You're in for a treat, everyone.
The suspense.
I know.
Hey. Eva?
Yes,
How's it going?
good.
What are you doing?
Looking at books.
Nice. What book are you looking at? You're not looking at Spirited Away, are you? The book that you have?
No.
Okay.
Why?
Can I ask you about Spirited Away?
Why now?
Well, we're recording our podcast and we thought you might want to talk about it with us.
Okay.
Hi Eva, it's Mikey.
What do you think about Spirited Away, Eva? Do you like it?
1 sec.
Okay.
Mickey,
Yes.
remember that time when we were talking about everyone? Most people would get the rose potion,
Yes.
stay alive forever, and you get the egg, and you, the other people would get the egg potion.
Yes, I would get the egg potion.
Yes.
Yeah. Does it change? Do I get a rose potion?
No.
What? What do you mean no? I want the rose potion.
Okay, Eva, we need to ask you about Spirited
Yeah.
Away. Tell us what you think of the movie.
I really like it.
Yeah? What do you like?
Wouldn't-
That's a good question. What do you like about it? Can you think of some parts or things that you like about it?
I can think of one thing that I don't like about it.
Tell me about that.
So, you know, No Face?
Yeah, I know No Face.
Yeah.
Face. And also at the end,
Yeah.
you turn into this giant monster thing, and
Yeah.
you eat Chihiro / Sen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah!
Yeah, that's a scary part, eh?
Yeah.
Are there parts that aren't scary that you like?
The whole rest of the movie.
The whole rest of the movie. Good answer. Good answer. Do you have a favorite character, Eva? Someone you like the best?
I honestly don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
There's so many.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for chatting with us about it.
Yeah. Thanks, Eva. We miss you. You come see our cats again.
Egg fart.
Egg fart.
Okay, kiddo, we're gonna let you go.
Geronimo.
We're gonna let you go, okay, Eva? Okay, love you.
Ah!
Huh?
Remember?
Oh, of course I remember.
Yes, we were. I definitely remember.
Yeah. Okay, we gotta go, kiddo. I love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my god, that was the cutest thing
Ladies and
ever.
gentlemen, my daughter.
So cute.
She didn't want to talk about Spirited Away. She wanted to talk about egg potions.
Yeah, egg farts.
Egg farts.
Yeah.
Geronimo.
Yeah, just to give the listeners and people a little bit of context, like we did a little podcast. I have a side podcast that I don't release, just to friends.
Yeah.
For the lulls.
She was on it.
She was on it, and
She's silly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not get the rose potion that
Yeah.
I wanted. That would have kept me alive forever.
No, you did not.
No.
Okay, let's get into it.
Well, see, I love that you called Eva
Yeah.
because I just wanted to make a point because I really feel like Studio Ghibli is Japan's Disney.
Sure. Totally.
Right? Like
100%.
they are huge. Like, and all those movies like Totoro and whatnot, Prince Mononoke,
Yeah.
Howl's Moving Castle, like
Yeah.
Miyazaki is fucking Disney.
Well, and what's
Like,
cool though is that it's also like Disney wears kid gloves. Ghibli does not wear kid gloves. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a
No.
lot of stuff that is for kids, but they're not going to shy away from telling you a more adult, more grown up story.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because some kids can handle that and some kids like that.
Yeah.
My kid, not so much. You know what I'm
What was,
saying?
what was that other one that Ghibli did? Something Firefly?
Grave
Grave
of
of
the
the
Fireflies.
Fireflies.
Grave of the Firefly. Holy shit, that's a heavy movie.
You want to know something?
What?
There might be a tie-in with this movie.
It might be a tie-in.
Possible. I've got fun facts today, people.
Oh, do you?
Maybe.
She's done a little bit of research.
Maybe. Do you want to know the tie-in now, or do you want to get to it later?
I'll get to it. I also want to digress just for a
Okay,
second
go.
because because you and I both know Umar, and I love
Yeah.
Umar.
Yeah.
And Umar, you'll remember this. This totally makes me sound like a dick, by the way.
When do you not hear though, buddy?
But again, Umar's a good friend, and I remember he lent me a copy of Akira on DVD because I hadn't seen it in a while.
Yeah.
And so I watched it and it was great and I loved it, but I forgot it one time, and he had like the biggest reaction of like, "Where's my DVD, Mikey?
Yeah.
Give it back." And I'm like, "Okay, no problem, man." And so I would purposely not give it to him for like,
Oh my God.
years.
That does sound like a dick.
Yeah, just because he.
Did you give it back?
Yeah, I did eventually,
okay.
but like he just had that same reaction every time. And I
Actually,
just
would have
loved
liked it better if you never did and you still have it. Okay. Ghibli, that's this movie specifically. Again, I've seen it dozens of times.
Yep.
And Jay, you hit on something. It was like one of my go-to get stoned and trip out movie. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That it's perfect for that.
Yep.
This
Yep.
and Princess Mononoke as well too.
I love critters.
Yeah. Okay. So here's where we get into like poking holes and tearing it down a little bit because
Yeah.
I've never watched this movie this way. Right.
Were you watching it critically?
Yeah.
But before you dig in, do we want to do a little factoids? Because there's some interesting facts about the release and production of this movie.
Sure. Yeah. Go for it. Let's
Just-
do that.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's do
We
it.
generally do. I don't want to skip over it on this
Yeah.
one because,
100%.
like I
100%.
said,
100%. 100%.
yeah, it's a
Okay.
big one. So Spirited Away, in Japanese, Sento Chihiro no Kamikakushi, or Sen and Chihiro's Spiriting Away, is a 2001 Japanese animated fantasy film written and directed by the legendary, the one and only Hayao Miyazaki. Animated by Studio Ghibli for Tokuma Shoten, Nippon Television Network, Dentsu, Buena Vista Home Entertainment, Tohoku Shueisha Film, and Mitsubishi. The film features the voices of Rumi Hiragi, Miyu Irino, Mari Natsuki, Takeshi Naito, and Yasuki Sawaguchi. Tells the story of Chihiro Ogino, a 10-year-old girl who, while moving to a new neighborhood, enters the world of kami, spirits of Japanese Shinto folklore. After her parents are turned into pigs by the witch Yubaba, Chihiro takes a job working in Yubaba's bathhouse to find a way to free herself and her parents and return to the human world. Miyazaki wrote the screenplay after he decided the film would be based on the 10-year-old daughter of his friend, Seiji Okuda, the film's associate producer, who came to visit his house each summer. At the time, Miyazaki was developing two personal projects, but they were rejected. With a budget of $19 million US, production of Spirited Away began in 2000. Pixar animator John Lasseter, another legend of Western animation, a fan and friend of Miyazaki, convinced Walt Disney Pictures to buy the film's North American distribution rights and served as executive producer of its English dubbed version.
Interesting. Weren't all the other Ghibli movies Sony releases? A lot of them?
I think ones prior to this. I
Okay.
think after this, Disney kind of took
Stepped
over.
in?
Yeah.
They're
and
like, Sony, this is what this is Disney. This is Disney stuff.
yeah.
Disney's
So
got the money and power.
Yeah.
For sure.
originally released in Japan on the 20th of July 2001 by distributor Toho, the film received universal acclaim, grossing $395.8 million at the worldwide box office. It is frequently regarded as one of the best films of the 21st century, as well as one of the greatest animated films ever made. Accordingly, it became the most successful and highest-growing film in Japanese history, with a total of $31.68 billion, or $305 million US. That was yen, sorry, 31.68 billion yen. It held the record for 19 years until it was surpassed by...
Oh, who is it?
Can you guys take a guess?
Oh, I fucking know. You should know because we talked about it.
We watched it.
Is it your name?
Nope.
Yeah.
Mugen Train. Mugen Train.
Mugen Train, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Demon Slayer Mugen Train in
Wow,
2020.
that's crazy that
Yeah.
crazy, man.
It won the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature at the 75th Academy Awards, making
Yeah.
it the first and to date only hand-drawn and non-English language animated film to win the award.
Nice.
Which is crazy.
Respect.
I was the co-recipient of the Golden Bear at the 2002 Berlin International Film Festival and is within the top 10 on the British Film Institute's list of top 50 films for children up to the age of 14. In 2016, it was voted the fourth best film of the 21st century by the BBC, as picked by 177 film critics from around the world, making it the highest ranking animated film on the list. In 2017, it was also named the second best film of the 21st century so far by the New York Times. The accolades
Damn,
are
dude.
endless.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Laurels on laurels on laurels. for this one.
100%. But
Yeah.
you know what? deserved.
100%. I agree 100%. I want to touch really quickly on the Mugen Train thing, like the upset there. It's crazy to me because Mugen Train only exists nestled within the series that is Demon Slayer. This, as a standalone film, should have much wider appeal. You know what I mean?
It's a reflection of the changing culture, though. Think
has to
about
be,
how
right?
much bigger anime is
It
now
has to
in
be.
general.
Yeah.
That says something about anime growing and becoming more widely culturally accepted. Like, that blows my mind.
2001.
Blows my mind.
But you gotta think of like throughout our whole podcast so far, right?
Yeah.
All the episodes that we've done, we always talk about what it was to like look at anime back in the 90s and how it's grown. Like I've seen it grow. And even
sure.
with the Marvel universe and the nerd culture, right? It, like back when we were in high school, like watching anime and being a nerd, like comic book nerd,
It was
like
ultra
that.
fringy,
Yeah. Ultra fringy. Also, like a lot of kids were just like, you're a loser.
Yeah.
Right. And now
Yeah.
it's cool to be a nerd or a weeb. Right. Like even when like
If only those kids knew how fucked up and violent some of this anime shit was, they would
Oh,
not
dude.
anymore think you were a nerd. They'd be like, actually, I'm scared of you now.
Definitely fear.
dude.
Yeah.
Especially if I show them fucking Ninja Scroll.
That's what I'm saying, right? That's the kind of shit I'm talking about. Yeah.
But like this came out after Princess Mononoke, right? And I think this is one of the first few that were really dived into and captivated you in a new world.
For sure.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of which, let's get into the world of Spirited
yeah,
Away.
Spirited Away.
So
yeah.
I have to say that, and this is one of the things that is kind of a bummer of, like I was saying earlier, watching this movie now this way, is that there's an excessive amount of magic in this world. An excessive amount, man. And all these years I was able to not think about it until I watched it, and I'm like, fuck, I always talk about ruining movies for you, but now you guys are ruining movies for me. So like that was a little bit hard. Do you know what I mean? A little bit hard. And there's just
sometimes you just need to accept it.
I have that in my notes. Mikey's gonna tell me to accept it.
Actually,
But I
You could have lied there.
yeah, you could
fair enough. Yeah, I could have.
you could have thrown me a bone,
I
man.
don't lie. So yeah, it just felt heavy-handed and like a little random at times. And as we know now, that I'm more a fan of simpler, less flashy magic. I like a little bit, but like there's a lot here. So
But again, like we mentioned this in some other episodes as well, is I personally find magic a lot more palatable when it's steeped in traditional folklore.
and I will agree that that's the thing. All the magic in this world is based in it's the spirit world.
Yeah,
it's
it's
all
not just some
spirits, you know
guy's
what I mean?
weird ass imagination. Like
No.
he had like an acid trip and
True.
imagined some guy's
Yeah.
hand coming
Yeah.
to life.
This
You
is
know?
like your quintessential isekai, right? Like you are literally, it's in the name. You are being spirited away.
they
That's
might
true,
as well
yeah.
just call
Yeah.
it isekai.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
like you're literally being spirited away to
Yeah.
this rich culture, a Japanese culture and folklore and mythology,
Yeah.
right? And all these critters and things like that. And I think for me, who really loves isekai and knows how fucking oversaturated it is with trash,
Yeah.
but I still consume it.
Yeah, of course
right?
you do.
Like,
Because you're also trash.
fuck you, man.
I'm kidding. I love you. Yeah.
But right, like, but this does it just so well in such a whimsical way.
Yeah.
Like, it's just you can't not love this movie.
Yeah, totally.
I don't think we could be friends if you didn't.
No, I love this movie, but I've hated movies you've loved probably more than you love this. So,
That's also true.
so the other thing we should talk about in the world is the bathhouse, because the whole world of this movie is the bathhouse, and like
Which I think is just such a cool premise right off the
Yeah.
bat.
a
Just like,
bathhouse for spirits.
Yeah.
like
Genius.
awesome
And
and so
also
unique.
so-
Who else has ever done that?
But it's also
Genius.
so to the culture of Japan. Like onsens are
Oh, yeah.
huge in Japan.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like they have an entire town that is an onsen town.
Why wouldn't the spirits have one
so
too,
Why
right?
wouldn't exactly?
Yeah.
What I like is the mechanics of how it works, right? The soak tokens, the way Kamaji's down there with all the
So
herbs,
good.
the
Yeah.
way the thing comes out of the wall and the
Yeah.
water fills the tub, even
Yeah.
though just the way the tub is shaped, right?
Yeah.
But you're right. Like they actually thought about the physics of the water flow and how
Genius.
that would affect, and how she
Yeah.
could, once she pulled it for long enough, she could let go of the rope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
exactly.
walk away.
Because
And
the
then
weight of the water. Is,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's just like
And the
everything
quality of water too that you can get
Yeah.
depending on the token that you give,
Yep,
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But like the way they animated water.
Yeah.
Okay. Like the attention to detail here in the meta.
Yeah.
But in also like the non-meta.
Yeah.
It's just attention across the board. And
Absolutely.
it's like just so well realized in a way you just fucking never see.
Well,
Yeah.
and that's a segue to the next segment, which is art, because that's Ghibli, man. That's Ghibli.
That is Ghibli.
Through
I mean,
and through. And even more specifically, Miyazaki.
yeah.
Like,
Well, and
that guy, man.
here's the thing. Like, when did this come out? Like, what was it?
2001.
2001. Think about that. 2001. That's
Yeah.
21 years ago.
Put this up against whatever Disney movie also came out that year, and you're going to see
Yeah.
something that's way more like washed and
Polished.
clean and polished.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And here's the thing. Miyazaki does everything.
Yeah.
He draws all the characters. He draws all the sets. He draws the storyboard. Like, he does everything. Like,
Yeah.
writes everything. Also, writing, like, I don't know if you know this fun fact from what I've read.
Sure.
He didn't actually write the script. Until much later on into the production.
Interesting.
Of already making this movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Interesting.
So-
It's
and
all
he-
concept and characters at first.
Yeah, and then like he makes the storyboard, and then the strips kind of naturally comes into play.
Yeah.
Afterwards, but I think he does that with a lot of movies.
I believe
He's a
it.
visual guy. He's a
Yeah.
visual thinker. You can tell. You can see that, right?
And it pays off because his style is so recognizable, right?
Yeah.
It's like even before knowing about anime, I could pick out his movies versus the other anime that was floating around in the world. Like,
And
Oh,
you see other
100%.
stuff that like Ghibli's kind of art directed on, like even outside of the realm of film. Like you get into video games, like Ni no Kuni is
Yeah,
an
it's
example, right? Where
huge.
it's a huge JRPG, and it's similar to how we were talking, on previously about Toriyama with Chrono Trigger.
right.
Yeah.
And, that looks like Goku. Well, Ni no Kuni, it's Studio Ghibli, the RPG.
Yeah,
That's amazing. I wish I knew about that when I played video
Yeah.
games.
I think you would die over it, dude.
Yeah,
Literally.
probably,
It's,
yeah.
So it's got his hand in it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
It's so recognizable.
Yeah.
But like one of the big things for me, at least with Ghibli movies, and Disney does this too. I don't want to throw too much shade at Disney because like, aside from Ghibli,
Yeah.
Disney is the gold standard of hand drawn animation.
Sure, but
Yeah.
They're nobody to shake a stick at. Like they are fucking good.
yeah.
before
you know?
Pixar though. Like,
That's
Yeah,
true.
before
The hand drawn
yeah,
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like,
Like it really was the cream of the crop. Whether stylistically you prefer, the Japanese style versus the Western style, because Disney's obviously just pure Western style, right?
For sure, yeah.
That's up for debate. But like Disney's great, but the way Ghibli paints in backgrounds, okay,
Dude.
character design, obviously A+. We've already talked about that, but literally it makes me weep, like almost like literally start crying,
Dude.
at just a rice patty.
Or like even
There's a
this movie,
truck
dude,
driving along beside a
Yeah.
rice patty, and I want to cry.
Yeah.
It's so fucking beautiful.
the way the wind blows a couple leaves on the
Yeah.
ground in this movie, in the first couple scenes,
Pause
right away.
this movie
the
and-
grass.
Pause this
in the
movie
field.
on
Yeah.
any frame,
or-
of this movie,
and put it up on your wall.
frame
or
it.
Yeah.
or fabric, right?
Yeah.
Fabric's another good one for movement.
Totally. Yep.
But here's the thing. This is where I knock Disney, right? Because like things like Jungle Book or Robin Hood with the fox and like all those old Black Diamond movies and stuff like that. Disney is infamous for reusing
Recycling character designs.
Cutting corners a lot, yeah.
and like dances, for example.
Yeah.
Right. Like
Whole sequences.
whole sequences.
Yeah.
Right. But you would never see that in a Ghibli movie.
Yeah. You couldn't.
To be fair, the output doesn't compare either.
Yeah.
That's true.
For every one Ghibli movie, you got 10 Disney movies.
That is true.
That's also fair. I would much rather that than
Quality
having-
over quantity.
Yes,
I agree.
100%.
Yeah.
Especially when the rewatchability is so high on Ghibli movies.
Yeah.
You don't need 20
So
of
high.
them because the 10 that are out
Yeah.
there, I'm
You're just through a number.
guesstimating.
Yeah.
Don't kill me. I know there's more.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying it goes a lot further because
Yeah,
it's so
For sure.
good.
I agree.
so good.
Can we go back to character design for a minute? Because the character design in this movie specifically is unreal. All the spirits and whatever. And I actually want to take a second because I think we can identify with some of the different spirits a little bit.
Yeah.
Like we all maybe can identify that I'm probably the stink spirit. Am I right?
No, I don't think so.
I think maybe. And I
yeah.
also think we can all agree that Mikey's a radish spirit.
Literally, I was watching that movie and I was just like, damn, that's what I'd look like if I shaved.
That's the case. No, I'm the little frog.
And Jay there's this one spirit you see only for a flash. He's like lying in a tub with his legs and arms hanging out, but he's like decked out and he's got all the flashy, like the bling on. I'm like,
yeah?
that's Jay for sure. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'll
No,
have to look that up.
Here's the thing: you are not the stink spirit because the stink spirit wasn't actually a stink spirit.
I
in
know
the
that.
end.
River Dragon.
He was a river dragon, like a high
Hello?
class.
which is
Hello?
pretty badass.
Yeah.
Hello?
So you are definitely not.
Hello?
No, there's no way.
Yeah, man.
No way, man.
man, because-
you are not a fucking river dragon.
Why not?
No.
All right.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Agree to disagree.
Actually, do you know who you fucking are? You're fucking Yubaba.
Fuck you, Baba.
You are.
Jordy,
No.
You are
Jordy,
totally Yubaba.
I'd pull a bike out of you.
See? See, I'm just a little. I just need a little cleanup, dude. I need a little makeover. Yeah.
He needs
I'll
the
be good.
herbal water.
yeah,
I'll
you
be
need to
good.
go to hair and makeup.
Yeah.
Herbal wash.
And then I'll be good.
Yeah.
Let's
Oh my
chat
God.
really quick about music because this is another Ghibli landmark.
Yeah.
Like they always have these like lush symphony arrangements, top to bottom.
Gorgeous.
Top to
Oh,
bottom, man. And again, another thing they do that Disney doesn't do is Disney like leans into music as like,
A crutch, a little bit.
I mean, they write good songs, but the movies in Disney are around the
They
songs.
are musicals.
They drive the
Yeah.
plot.
They are musicals.
That's right.
This is
right?
not a musical.
No, absolutely. But the music like elevates these movies, right? It's everything's top notch. Art,
Yeah.
music, like
I would
you can't
say,
fault it.
But that's the thing. I think with musicals like Disney, you don't get sucked into the story as much, right?
Yeah.
Where the music and the symphonies in something like this, right? You get sucked into it because it emotionally makes you feel.
Yeah.
There's like a resonance that you don't get in a musical.
The
that you
music,
do-
I think.
do here.
Maybe if I can rephrase, the musical element of a Disney movie is distracting from the plot sometimes, whereas the music in this sucks you in.
Yes.
it forces you to focus.
I agree. Like a perfect example that comes to mind is like we were recently talking about Moana a whole bunch,
We
right?
sang a whole bunch of it
Well,
last night.
sure
yeah, I
did.
was gonna say like, okay,
Listen,
side
the
note,
Shweebs don't need to know this,
Exactly.
okay?
No, they do. They
Shut
do.
up.
They do. Jay,
Shut up.
Senpai, they do. Okay, guys. Fun fact: I knew Jay liked Disney movies. Are you pressing the fucking mute button on me? Don't you dare press that fucking mute button. But I had no idea how much Jay actually likes fucking Disney music.
Yeah.
Like he's like reciting, singing every single fucking.
You don't like it?
I just offended them. Okay,
Yeah.
I think we all know that I'm
Yeah.
a fucking
But
Disney
like
guy.
watching this
Let-
30-something-year-old.
It should also be said that all three of us had a blast singing Disney songs at
Yes,
the top
it's
of our
true.
lungs last night. Okay?
It is true.
But anyways,
Jay's not
as I
alone
was
in this.
saying
Yes.
about Moana, okay,
Yeah.
fucking, Maui singing about all the shit that he's done to become this demigod, all of his accomplishments, right? It's this fun, happy song. You're welcome. He's glad, and you're having a good time learning about stuff that, if they wanted to, they could dive deep into and tell in a very gritty, intense, emotionally driven way of him, pulling the sun down and bringing light to the world. You know what I mean? Think about
Yeah.
how epic and deep and dark you could get with that.
Yeah.
Disney's just like, no, we'll make The Rock sing a fun little ditty about it.
He'll dance around and his
You know?
tattoos will move.
and kids will love that. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, but like you had an opportunity there to really pull me into the lore.
Yeah.
And you chose to sing at me instead.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
don't get me wrong,
100%.
sometimes I want to be sang at, and it's
Yeah,
fun.
it's
but
fun.
sometimes I want some meat, and this is it.
There's a maturity in Ghibli movies that you don't find the same level of in a Disney movie.
Yeah,
Yes.
for
And that's
sure.
it.
Like, could you imagine if like Miyazaki made this into a musical? Like, like how different would that be?
Get tickets to see that stage production though. 'Cause
Yeah,
it would
it's
probably
true,
be sick.
right? Like like I'm sitting there, I'm watching this musical of Spirited Away, and while
Yeah.
I'm watching the musical, I'm also clicking subscribe.
You fucking idiot.
I barely got that out.
I know.
Like it's
I will say though, that one caught me off guard the most. Like it was abrupt.
He keeps doing that. He has such long buildups that I'm just zoned in. I'm like, uh-huh.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
one was abrupt though. This one was he got you with that one.
Like and subscribe. You say it.
Like and subscribe, guys. Leave us a comment. Tell your friends. You know someone who likes anime, and it means a whole lot to us. We love you, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, I had to fucking hold that in.
Yeah. You're good, man. Take a deep breath. Okay, let's talk
anyway.
about characters. Let's start off the top about Chihiro.
Yeah.
Who is like the most wholesome character in a movie ever of all time.
Just want to squish her cheeks.
She's constantly just making friends, and she's just doing her damn best all the time, dude. Like, you know what I mean?
Like she also just doesn't want to like not be unpleasant to
She doesn't want to
anybody.
impose. Yeah, exactly.
Impose, doesn't want to be a burden.
Exactly. But
Like-
what else is cool is that the growth from that, she gets so hardened, and once she realizes what she needs to do as the plot progresses, she just like won't let anything stop her. You know what I mean? It becomes like a force to be reckoned with, not in a way that's turning people off, just in a like, I gotta go do this now. Sorry,
Yep.
you know what I mean? And she's off on her mission. I love that, man.
Okay, my favorite scene of her though,
Yeah.
honestly, which caught me off guard when I first saw this movie,
Yeah.
is when she leaves the bathhouse and is going down the stairs, and all of a sudden she's just going so far, and then
She just starts going?
Yeah. Eva, I should say, Eva, when we saw that scene, my daughter, she goes, her hands look like rakes. And then she looks at me because I had my notepad. She goes, Daddy, write that in your notes. So
So you did good by your daughter by
her
mentioning.
hands look like rakes when she's running down the stairs.
All right.
She is able to understand what the spirit world needs from her, right? She gets the river medicine and like, you don't know what the fuck this ball of dirt is, but she figures it out, and twice she uses it in the most appropriate spots, right?
Yep. And also selfishly.
Totally.
No, not non-selfishly.
Exactly.
Selflessly.
That's right.
She uses it.
I like how I just like agreed with you and you said the
Yeah.
wrong word. I was like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. but again, like, and she even knows full well that the second time she gives it out, she's giving up the rest of it.
And she even identifies in the moment what she could have tried to use it for.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it really drives home like the character that she has.
Absolutely.
And just makes you love her so
100%.
much more.
Yeah,
She also, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. So I was gonna say the other thing too, though, is I don't know if you've noticed, but Miyazaki actually writes in for a lot of his movies is a female archetype.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right? Like he's like, I always want a girl in there that
Yeah.
doesn't need to be saved per
Right.
se.
If anything,
but
the dude needs to be saved, and she saves him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. But it's always a young girl.
Yeah.
But it's a
appreciate
really
that.
cool.
I appreciate that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Again, having a daughter who loves this movie, that's super
Yeah.
valuable to me. Okay, let's get on to the next guy, Haku.
I love Haku.
See, I don't actually love him as a character, to be honest with you. I get, like, granted, I love this movie. I'm sorry. But I didn't, I don't, I
You're
don't
only
think-
hurting yourself.
Yeah, I guess deeply though. That's the problem. Sorry to myself. As a plot point, sure, but as a character, he didn't strike me as being a standout character. You know what I
But
mean?
he is a bit of an archetype in that, like, I'm going to help you, and I'm stoic.
Yeah.
Right. He's that kind of like, he's a Sasuke kind of feel.
He's just kind of lost for a long time in the movie. He's just kind of like going through the motions, which again, to me, like again, as a plot point, great, but as a character, I'm not relating.
But
I'm
he's
not,
a trap.
They explain he's in turmoil.
Yeah,
I know, I
he's
understand
trapped.
that, but they don't show that necessarily in the same way. Do you know what I mean?
But
I felt
he-
it in other ways
Yeah.
without them having to straight up like tell me in straight terms. Like you could
Yeah.
tell that there was something going on here.
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
he was in a situation that he didn't want to be in. That
I
he was
guess
being
really
kind of
what I'm
forced
trying to say
into.
is I didn't have a lot to gush about him as a character.
But
did.
you know
I
what the problem I think that's there is that you're looking at him as a young person and who is supposed to have character develop. He's a fucking river spirit.
Sure,
who is
fair enough.
supposed to be like thousands of years old.
Yeah, fair
He's
enough.
ancient. Yeah.
And he's going to be set in his ways.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Like,
speaking of that, like I actually find it really cool and interesting as far as his character design goes that his human form is like a young boy still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's got that dragon form as well. Like
Yeah.
I just love. I've always loved that dichotomy. We've talked about it in Dragon Maid.
Yeah.
Small, maybe unassuming. Kind of human form,
And fierce ass fucking crazy
badass,
dragon.
fierce,
Yeah. Yeah.
transformation. I love that dichotomy. and
His dragon
he's
face
like that.
actually is the same face as my dog when she snarls. Like they're the same.
Yeah, there's a lot
It's
of they're very
adorable.
dog-like face. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, he is like the gopher for Yubaba, right?
And that's
Does
the
all
thing,
tasks
but like
and stuff.
reluctantly, like he doesn't want to be there, right? And then he's helping Chihiro out, but he has to like be low key about it. He can't let Yubaba know, right?
Yeah, and I think that dynamic and that position that he's in told me plenty about his character.
All right.
I thought.
I like him. I like him now.
My issue with Haku, actually kind of comes up later, but we'll get to that maybe when we get to story.
Okay, sure.
There's a story beat that I was kind of just like,
Yeah.
okay,
Put a pin
didn't,
in it. I want to hear it.
didn't earn that.
Yeah.
But, all right, we'll get there.
Okay, let's talk about the next character I want to talk about is Kamaji.
Kamaji.
My favorite character in the whole movie.
Yeah, he's a really great character.
He's the
Yeah.
best dude. I
Yeah.
love the way he looks. I love how he's like grumpy grandpa, but he's
Yeah.
also super endearing and caring.
Yes.
My question is like, what is he? Is he a spirit?
Yeah. It has to be.
yeah.
They're all Shinto spirits.
I guess so, right?
So from my understanding, all the names relate to their character in some way.
Okay, interesting.
So I'm assuming, there's a Kamaji is some sort of spirit. But again, Shweebs,
Yeah, tell us.
tell us in the comments, help us out.
Yeah.
Yeah, for example, like Yubaba is like Natsuki, Chihiro is Hiragi. Like they
Yeah.
all have like correlating,
Yeah.
characters that they're
Yeah.
supposed to be portraying.
Yeah,
right?
that makes
So
sense.
He's definitely got to be someone.
Oh, I
guarantee
figured
it.
it out. Do you know who I am?
Who are you?
I'm the fucking little the baby with that turns into a hamster.
Actually, yeah. Actually, that works. That works for me, actually.
And actually, I'm the three heads.
Yeah, you're the three heads.
You are the three heads, yeah.
If I was bald,
Yeah.
well, when I'm bald,
Yeah. Am I still the stink spirit?
yeah.
Can okay, let's talk about Lynn, who is an interesting character. She reminds me actually a lot of Kamaji.
Yeah.
She's also equal parts grumpy and caring. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And in the end, she's such a bro.
Yeah.
She's
So-
the Oni-chan. It's like it's the same with My Neighbor Totoro, right? It was
Yeah.
the two sisters. It's the older sister.
That's right. Okay,
kind
so
of figure.
I have a theory about Lynn.
Okay.
I think she's also a human who is tricked into indentured servitude. For multiple reasons. Okay, ready? All the frogs talk down to her. No one likes her. She mentions a few times about getting out of this place. I'm going to get out of this place. I'm going to get on that train, right? And she doesn't have the dots on her forehead that all the other frog women have.
I was literally about to
true.
say
Yeah.
and even facial structure wise, her actual character design is
Yeah.
different than all the other women.
Right?
All of them.
I'm convinced. I think she's a human who also like somehow
like that.
stumbled there and
Yeah.
had to stay.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like that idea because
Yeah.
I also was wondering too, like she is such a more relatable character.
And also
Right?
she relates to Chihiro so deeply. Like
Yeah.
the two of them instantly, boom, same.
Wait, why
same.
is she so empathetic to this
Yeah.
little girl that
Yeah.
could get her in so much fucking shit?
Right.
Yeah.
Because she totally understands where she's coming
Yeah.
from.
Right,
Love that.
exactly.
Love that.
Exactly. Okay, let's talk about motherfucking No Face, who is like
Yeah.
an
I was gonna say
iconic
Yubaba,
piece of
but-
Hold on,
imagery.
hold on. I had to.
I want Sen. Sen. Yeah. Anyways, how iconic is his face? Like
Yeah.
that image.
I mean, it's right up
Yeah.
there with Haro from Gundam.
It's well, I've
Dude.
never seen Haro before.
Yeah.
We started watching Gundam, but I don't know what to say about that. So the thing about No Face is that like he's obviously like your antagonist. He's the bad guy. I mean, Yubaba as well too. But like, but there's a
I would
strange.
say Yubaba more than
Sure.
Yeah.
There's an innocence in No Face though as well, right?
I was honestly like last time I was watching it, I was like trying so hard to figure out his character.
I think he is
know?
not malicious. I think he's kind of a blank slate of a demon or of a, spirit
spirit,
rather. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And what's happening is he's reflecting what he's getting from the people he interacts
yeah,
with.
because he doesn't have an identity, right?
So the first thing that happens is Chihiro opens the door for him, right? An act of generosity and kindness. And so what does he do? He goes and starts offering gold and bath tokens. He now wants to also be generous, right? And then all the people in the bathhouse start getting
taking from
greedy
him.
and taking and taking. He goes, oh, okay, well now I'll be greedy. And he's like, I want to eat everything. You know what I mean? He's a
I
reflection.
didn't make that connection.
He's a mirror, essentially.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good point.
I like that idea. Yeah, that
Yeah.
he's like
Yeah.
this almost like chameleon who's just
Yeah.
responding to his
Killing
surroundings.
it today, guys. You know what's funny? It's like right now he's hurting himself by watching this critically, but he's making this even better for us.
For us.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You're welcome. I love you
Yeah.
guys.
Thank you.
I love you guys. Yeah. It should be said, he's still a wacko and definitely still eats people. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But like, it seems like that's like, he doesn't want to cause harm. He's just
Yeah.
like going through the motions of being that mirror and reflecting what's going on, right?
Well, yeah, I think like, you know, it's even more reinforced towards the end. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? When he's not hostile towards Chihiro at all.
He becomes
literally-
neutral again.
He literally listens to her when she says like,
Yeah.
come with me,
Yeah.
sit there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't do anything stupid.
Yeah.
But that's what we're saying. Like he's a blank slate, right?
Yeah.
I think he is exactly that. He's this a new spirit. Again, Shweebs, who might know a little bit more of the folklore and,
Yeah.
and culture.
Yeah.
You know, you guys can let us know. But like from my perception is he's a new spirit, right? He doesn't have an identity yet, right? Because he's no face.
Yeah.
Right. And so he needs somebody to guide him. Like
Yeah.
it's a child. Like so, and then now you have Shihiro, who's learned all these like mentoring and mothering skills from Lynn.
Yeah,
Right. Also
totally.
doing the same thing for this other spirit.
Yep.
Yep.
Pretty cool. We can briefly touch on Yubaba and Zaniba, who's like a classic good witch, bad witch archetype.
Yeah, because
You
you're
know what I mean?
Yubaba.
Fuck you, man. I'd rather be the stink spirit. At least then I get to be a cool dragon in the end. Anyways, I mean, as an antagonist, Yubaba's like pretty good. She's creepy. Her fucking weird, huge face is like off-putting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the right
and-
amount of creepy. I
Yeah,
think.
exactly. Yeah. But like as a good witch, bad witch archetype, it's a pretty standard plot element. Do you know what I mean? Like it does the job.
The twin sister out of nowhere
Zeniba?
felt a little bit contrived. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's probably a reason for it. It probably mirrors folklore. There's probably like, but to me, it was kind of just like anytime there's like, I'm a twin, I'm their long lost twin. I
Yeah.
look just like them, but
Sure.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm the foil to them. It's
It
like
seems a little bit like, come on.
a little too easy.
Yeah, low hanging fruit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the thing is, Yubaba isn't completely evil, though, right?
No, that's true.
Which
She's
is
just-
what I really like.
She's just a good businessman.
Yeah.
She's an entrepreneur.
Yeah, because I think the days of black and white, like good and evil, are
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and you have to have some of those nuances within an antagonist.
For sure, yeah.
Sure.
Right?
It's better
So-
if you do anyhow.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Like I always love Thanos. I always think Thanos is.
Yeah, but that's because you're a motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's it for characters I wanted to touch on. Do you guys have any characters beyond that are worth bringing up?
Not really, but like I do want to say, like I love the little critters, man. Like
Yeah.
I just can't get enough of the cute little
frog?
frog or the soot
soot sprites.
Right? And like you
Okay,
know,
you want to know? I have another theory.
what's that?
So the soot sprites are also kind of a Totoro nod, right?
Yeah.
So I like to think this is same world as Totoro. And if Totoro wanted to, because he's probably a forest spirit,
Yeah.
he could go to the bathhouse.
Yes.
Yes.
He wouldn't because he's not that type of
I
spirit.
back
Yeah.
that fully.
But he
Yeah.
could. He could go there, right?
I fully think
Cat Bus, I
that's-
guarantee,
yeah.
goes to that
I
realm.
love
Yeah.
Cat Bus.
That's what I'm saying.
Fucking Cat Bus is like the greatest.
I know.
like,
I know.
it's just a cat, and you can go inside, and he just like opens up the side of his
And he
body.
just smiles and he's like, "Let's go."
They
Hop
should have.
on.
They should have brought
He's-
Cat Bus back instead of
yeah.
the train at the end of this.
That would've been
Oh,
really
that
cool.
would have
Yeah.
been. Oh my god, that would have been a huge nod.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been a people gasping in the movie theater
Yeah.
because it's the characters from Your Name, except
Yeah.
me because I missed it.
Yeah. yeah.
Cell phone.
Okay, let's move on from characters and get into the plot.
Dude. Okay.
Okay, so we open up, we're in the car, and we're speeding down the road, and they're going to a new home. That's what's happening, right? There's a line the mom says because her flowers are dying, and she says, "Don't smother them. We'll put them in water when we get to our new home." Which, in my head, I'm like, that seems specific and important. I couldn't quite place it, except that she says we'll put them in water, and water is a massive theme. Maybe it was nothing, but to me, for some reason, the fact that her flowers were dying and she said that felt important to me.
You know what? I wouldn't put it past Miyazaki to have that amount of detail and
Sure.
foreshadow in there.
Yeah.
Because he's so detailed oriented.
Totally, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I even like you can't talk about any Ghibli movie without talking about Miyazaki.
He's the man.
Right? Like and because like I've watched this documentary on him where, you know, the people who work for him say he's as great of a genius and a mind as he is.
Yeah.
Right? He's actually so detail oriented that it's tough to work for him.
I don't doubt it, but not in a way like he's mean. In a way
No,
that
like-
like you gotta come up to his standards.
Yeah, right? Like he's trying to keep the standard up.
Makes
so.
sense. Yeah. Okay, so we're booking it down the road. Dad's driving like a lunatic. And we eventually stop and we end up at the tunnel, right? And
Yep.
the breeze comes through and spooks Chihiro and she doesn't want to go in. But the dad's like, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
He's totally that character, like a
Yeah.
bunch of times, right? And I also perceive here that she's more perceptive to the spirit world than her parents. And it's because she had that interaction with it when she was a kid, right?
But I also think too, a lot of the time we even see it in North American like culture. You know, kids,
Children,
and
yeah,
children,
for
and
sure.
animals are a little bit more
For sure.
susceptible, in tune. That's a good word.
Totally. Either
stuff
way,
like
she's
that.
a little scared, and her parents are like, "Don't worry, we'll be fine." So they go in, and there's like an abandoned theme park, which also is really cool because those exist in real life.
Yeah.
right. Like in Japan, I'm pretty sure there's one that's like shaped like Paris, and they
Yeah.
have like an old abandoned Disney World out there somewhere.
Yeah,
too,
well, there's
right?
one that didn't even open, I think.
Yeah.
Right? And it was just completely abandoned. I'm like,
Yeah.
are you kidding me?
Yeah,
also
exactly.
a graffiti writer's dream.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised there's not more graffiti on Yubaba's bathhouse. Maybe that's how Lynn ended up there.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, so they wander in and start looking around, and there's just this one stall of delicious looking food.
Yeah.
Like everything's deserted, whatever. And actually, I say delicious looking food, but it kind of looked gross. To me, anyhow. Like, I know that's cultural, but like,
Yeah.
what is that weird, like, squishy bag thing with wings?
I don't know.
And
I don't know.
And he slurps it all
Yeah.
out.
I don't know. Weird, man. Yeah.
It looked delicious to me.
Yeah,
man.
totally.
You know what? I think it was almost designed to intentionally look like
Otherworldly.
gluttonous. To
Okay,
eat.
yeah, sure.
You know what I mean?
that's-
Like, like in order to eat it, you almost had to eat like a pig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to
100%.
consume it alone.
100%.
You had to.
I mean, like, I love in ramen the pork, the chizu.
Sure.
Yeah, the
Chashu.
chashu.
Chashu, that's how
Yeah.
you say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, chashu. fucking giving my mouth is watering.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had like 8 pieces of that earlier in my ramen.
I was
We're
watching
gonna
you
eat after this.
earlier. I'm like,
Big
fuck, I
pieces.
should have got that.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna eat after this.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so it's clearly Yubaba's magic is what made that food show up there, right? Like she obviously like saw them come in or whatever. And this is a little bit of a plot hole for me because if she's all seeing and can see that shit happen and use magic, why isn't she also seeing like Chihiro sneaking around with Haku earlier on? Do you know what I mean?
No, so I think that's explained or implied. It's when she crosses the bridge, she has to hold her breath.
Right.
Right.
Oh, so it's not until she crosses the bridge.
Yeah, but not only that, but she also has to eat a little bit of the food.
Yeah.
But not gluttonously like consume it, and then because if you do, that's when you turn into a pig.
That's another element that in this watch I didn't love is the eating the little bit of the food because like she starts to disappear, which is a kind of a big deal, and then she eats a little bit of food, and then that whole element just is gone from the story completely. And I was like, you could have just not had that one, right?
Yeah.
If you want to make it leaner, which I'm a fan of doing.
Sure.
Yeah, but I mean,
I know you can. You like everything.
It grounds it though, right?
It does it though.
Yeah,
There's a lot of grounding already. I didn't need that.
Okay, so
We don't need
so-
to get hung up on it.
Okay.
You can if you have something to say.
No. We don't have to. But like, I do feel like it grounds it more in there because if
Okay.
she's already disappearing,
Yeah.
she needed something to ground herself in the spirit world. And
Sure.
what was that? There's nothing else.
Sure.
But like introducing the mechanism that she'd disappear at all
Yeah.
when she
Yeah.
got there, kind of, you didn't need that.
Because it didn't come back at all, ever again.
Well, because you didn't need it anymore.
You didn't need it in the first place.
That's what I mean. Like she didn't need to start disappearing at all. Really, they could have just not had.
Jay,
her
you're
disappear.
supposed to be on my side.
We all love this movie and we all love each other. Okay, let's get back to it. So parents are going to town on this food, and Chihiro's wandering around or whatever, and then
Yeah.
the night falls, and the spirits start coming out like crazy. She freaks out. She runs back, and her parents are pigs now.
Yeah.
Big
Another
sloppy pigs.
Yeah, and there's a disgusting sloppy pigs, and the shadow reaches out and slaps their dad in the face. He's like, he falls over.
It's horrifying.
It's traumatizing,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Okay, one more little like gripe that I had that maybe isn't a big thing. Let's not get hung up on it. But the concept of nightfall and the spirits start emerging. But then as the movie progresses, the spirits are popping up in the day, popping up in the night. Sometimes they're shadows. Sometimes they materialize. I didn't understand why in this first scene, it's like it's nightfall, the shadows start appearing, and as it gets darker and darker, they materialize.
No, so I think what you're missing is they don't appear in daylight in the human world. Because once we've left and she's crossed the bridge, she's always in the spirit world.
Okay.
So,
So
when
in
it's
the-
daytime in the spirit world, they're
You
there.
don't see them.
different day,
No.
probably day night cycle at the bathhouse
Sure.
than it is in that little village.
Yeah.
On the other side.
Okay. I just found that a little bit confusing. They seem to put a lot of weight in that opening scene about the lights go down, the spirits come up.
Yeah.
And then later on, it was just like spirits, shadows, materialize,
But
whatever.
I also
whatever.
wondered if them starting to eat triggered the darkness, triggered the nightfall and the
Interesting.
transition into the spirit
Could have been.
world activating.
Could have been.
And that darkness came with those spirits in the stalls.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
don't
I think it's still a little simpler than that. I think it's just once night falls,
Yeah.
spirits come out. Like that's across the world, right? Like a lot of mythology, a lot of folklore,
Sure.
and a lot of different cultures.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just once we've kind of crossed over into the spirit world, even if it's daytime there. I know time transfers a little bit differently, but
Yeah, but it doesn't matter so much once they're
Yeah,
there, is what you're
they're-
saying.
yeah, right.
In the human world, it matters. They can't show up in the daytime.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get what
Yeah.
you're saying. I'll take it. Okay, so we already talked about she gets a little piece of food from Haku, and he does this little cute little like magic spell in the name of the water and the wind within her, unbind her, which is also kind of funny because what are you, a fucking Harry Potter? Get out of here.
but that's
You watched the dub.
Yeah,
so I
you
don't
watched
know.
the dub.
Oh yeah, of course I have to watch the dub because that's how I watched this from
Yeah,
day
the
one.
original one. Yeah.
I had no choice. Anyways, he does a little cute little spell, which is like weird because like it's a magic spell in a movie where he's a spirit and he could probably just do the magic. Do you know what I mean? But anyways, then they like zip onto the bridge. They're on the bridge.
Yeah.
She's holding her breath. Right? They pass No Face,
Yes.
which on the first time you ever watch this movie, you're not going to notice that.
No.
Right? But now that you notice it, it's fucking cool.
Yeah.
And then this frog jumps up in front of her and she takes a big gash. The frog sees her and then they have to fucking fly out of the way, right? Basically.
Also, the way they animated that, like Haku
Amazing.
just does the quick bubble,
Totally.
Yeah.
grabs her,
And the frogs.
and then he's literally flying, but like
Yeah.
not even high up. He's just like low
Weaving,
ground
yeah,
level,
yeah.
just and
Yeah.
it's like, oh, this is
everyone's
electrifying.
flashing by them. Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
pretty cool. So basically, he tells her that she's got to get a job there. Otherwise, she's fucked, right? So, and then she does that thing, your favorite scene, where she runs down the stairs. And then we get to my favorite scene in the movie where we meet Kamaji.
Yeah.
I love this fucking scene, dude. The soot sprite's coming out, and Chihiro's like so confused, but also determined. She's like, I need a job. She keeps bothering him. He's like, go away, little girl. And then she's standing there in silence. The soot sprites are doing their thing, and the one gets crushed.
Yeah.
And she has to pick it up and throw it in the boiler. And then all the soot sprites are like,
Fuck this!
exactly. This bitch is gonna work for us.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing, dude.
Yeah, but even the soot sprites are like they take care of her.
Yeah, well,
right?
they keep her clothes for her and shit. Yeah.
Like it's so cute.
Yeah, really cute. Anyways, eventually Kamaji says, you got to go see Yubaba to get a job. And Lin shows up. We meet Lin and Lin takes her. So now we're in the bathhouse and we're going through the elevators and the pathways. You're seeing all the spirits now. And this was one of the coolest visual scenes, right? When you start seeing the spirits.
Yeah.
I love the creatures in most movies, little creatures like that.
Yeah.
And this one especially, they're like super whimsical. And we meet the radish spirit, who also is kind to her, right? And that
I love one of my favorite scenes too is when he's dancing with the fans.
Yeah. So we touched on it earlier when we talked about Lin, but there's like some low key racism towards humans by like Frog and Yubaba. Like they're not down with humans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what's cool about this movie is there's like a handful of like what I would call are like progressives maybe that like don't feel that way. Like Lin's that way, Haku's that way, Kamaji's that way, and the radish spirit. Because the radish spirit fully sees her, acknowledges her, and then just looks the other way, right? Cute little scene, man.
Yeah.
You're a good guy, radish spirit.
Yeah.
So then we get into Yubaba's palace. We meet the three bouncing heads, the giant baby, the U-bird. Yubaba explains she's taken an oath to give anyone a job who asks. And that was another thing. I was like, oath to who? And like, why? I don't know. Weird mechanism.
It would be, you know what? It would have been a little bit cooler to see. I get why they did it for the movie, right? Because they had to move it along. But
Sure.
like afterwards, I would have loved to seen a little bit of a prequel for like Yubaba's story and like the two witches.
Yeah.
right?
That's the
Like-
thing. It could have been a condition on her getting the bathhouse and
Yeah.
being able
Probably,
to
yeah.
run it was that she had to do that.
Yeah.
Like, that could have been a conditional thing.
It probably was. It
Yeah.
just was a weird little drop that didn't mean anything.
You're
give
right. Didn't mean
to me.
anything.
Yeah. Okay, so she gets the job, but she also has to give up her name. Now she's Sen. And she ends up outside with Haku. She yells at her parents. She's like, I'm going to save you. Stop getting so fat. And then she goes and eats an onigiri with tears, which also you had that today too.
Yum.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, I wish I had one of those.
Yeah, man.
She's
know.
crying and eating it. Yeah. And Haku gives her clothes back and the little card from her flowers, which is super important because it has her old name on it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise she's going to forget it, right?
Yeah.
And your name is like the key to breaking Yubaba's spell, basically,
Yeah.
apparently. And then this is where we first see the dragon form. Haku flies off as a dragon. And she's
Yes.
like, he's a dragon? Which is really cool. So now Chihiro's on her first day of the job.
Yep.
And this is when she makes the mistake of letting No Face in. And that same day, her and Lin get the big bath, which is, again, one of those reasons why I think maybe Lin's human, because they're like, go do the big bath. Fucking you get out of here, right?
Yeah. Why does she get stuck with that?
Exactly,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Especially because it seems like she works so hard and she's dedicated to her job. Do you know what I mean?
You gotta have that theory right on the money, man. You have to.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that I
I'm gonna
nailed
look
that
into
one.
this now.
So yeah, then the stink spirit's coming, right?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Before that, No Face shows up again and gives Chihiro like a ton of soak tokens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stink spirit shows up, and this is a cool moment for Yubaba because you said she's not all evil. Because she like
did.
really rallies in this scene. You said that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. 'Cause she rallies in this scene.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, it's also she's trying to make a profit, right?
She runs a tight ship.
She runs a tight
Yeah.
ship, right? And
so she gets everyone around, and they're like, that's not a stink spirit. We got to do something about this,
Yeah.
right? And in the end, it's Chihiro who figures it out and pulls the thing out, pulls
Yeah,
the bike out
bike
of
out.
it. And it's like all the spurting garbage, which was also kind of cool because it's like a little nod to the fact that like humans are scum and we polluted the fuck out of this earth.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, I think that's the foreshadow of why they turned into pigs.
Yeah.
Right?
Humans
And
are pigs.
Humans
We're
are
disgusting. Yeah.
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 Even though pigs are cute and
Pigs are better than us. We don't deserve pigs.
It's also true. They're also really smart.
And kind of delicious.
Well, I hope we. Anyway.
Vegans, I'm sorry.
I just live in my
I
truth.
love you. I stand with you.
Yeah.
Jordy hates you.
No, I love you too. They hate me.
Which is really funny because all three of us, our significant others, are
All vegetarian or vegan. Yeah, 100%. Well, no. Anyway, so the stink spirit, it turns out, was a river spirit, and there's this weird scene where it's like there's nothing gross about it anymore, and it's like weird old withered face just floats up in front of like a wall of water.
Yeah,
and it just
he's
goes
ancient.
and he just goes
Yeah.
the long breath, right?
Yeah.
And then the water goes away, and she's got this thing in her hands, a little ball of dirt. And there's a funny scene later on where she like tastes it. It kills me, dude. She's like, and then she takes the like dumpling and
Yeah,
get the
like
flavor out of her mouth.
artistically, like when she gets the little shivers.
Yeah, they go up all over. Yeah, 100%. So that same night, No Face sets up shop in the big bath and starts going off the rails. He eats that little frog first and foremost, right? And now he's got a voice.
Yeah.
Right?
And then he gives everybody cool.
That's how it goes,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so the next morning, I guess, Chihiro wakes up and looks outside, and Haku's flying around. He's getting attacked by these little paper things. They're slicing him up, and they almost fucking kill him, dude. They fucked him up. And then she ends up getting him inside and closing the door, and one of them sticks to her back, right? And so now she's running through whatever to try and find Haku because he went upstairs or something. I don't remember. But she passes No Face during this time, and he's like, here, give some gold.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I'm sorry, I don't want your gold. And you can almost see, like, if he had eyes, that he goes,
Yeah.
like, he can't handle that she said no to the gold, right?
Because everybody else
Yeah.
is taking it and is being super greedy, but she's the only one. And it's like if we're gonna
Something
talk,
breaks in him there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? Because she's the only one that he really cares about.
Yeah, for
So-
sure. Okay, so the little paper dude actually helps Chihiro get around a little bit. She keeps getting stopped and things happen, and it's opening doors for her and stuff. And it turns out the paper thing is a spell from Zaniba, and now we have like a Zaniba spirit floating in the room, right? And she like turns the baby into a mouse. She turns the U-bird into a fly. She turns the three heads into a clone of the baby.
Yeah.
And she explains
So good.
Yeah, dude. So good, man. It's you, buddy.
Yeah.
And then she explains that she thinks Haku's a thief because he stole her secret seal. And then Haku slashes, cuts her in half, and falls down to Kamaji. That scene where he's down in the boiler room thrashing around is also a really good scene visually. The blood spattering.
Yeah, and, like,
the drawers are popping out when he slams into the wall.
Yeah, she uses the little medicine ball that she got from
That's
the
right.
river spirit. It has to hold.
I was gonna say the
Yeah.
way she holds
Holds
onto
on
his
his
muzzle and
heel,
just
yeah.
squeezes.
I put pills in my own dog's mouth that way too.
Yeah,
Yeah, my dog doesn't want to take pills.
No, it was. You're right. That's
peanut
a
butter if you ever want a dog.
Super beautifully done scene.
Yeah.
Right? I love that scene. And then when she feeds the dirt ball to him,
Yeah.
he like barfs up this little black blob attached to the seal.
Yeah.
And the black blob's like going around, and Kamaji's like, step on it. Get it. He's like
Yeah.
up on his thing. He's like, get it. And she squashes it.
the shiver again.
Yeah, she has to shiver again. And then, dude,
the squirming.
here's another scene that's one of my favorites. Then we get a close up on the mouse and the fly, and they're around all the soot sprites, and they reenact it.
Yeah.
Right? He goes, and he stomps on the floor, and he goes, "Ugh," and
They're all
Kamaji
like,
goes,
yeah.
no, but there's another part. Kamaji, when she stomps on it, he goes, that's bad luck. Put your forefinger and your thumbs together. And he does that, and he goes, evil be gone. He does that little thing, dude. I fucking thought that was funny. That whole sequence was really funny, man.
Yeah, it's super cute.
Yeah. Okay, so what happens next is Kamaji has train tokens. That's what happens,
Yes.
right? And I guess they figure out they got to go see Zaniba somehow for some reason, right? But at the same time, Sen shows up and she goes, Chihiro wants you to deal with No Face. We got to go deal with this, right?
Well, they have to go back to see Zaniba to release Haku.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But we don't leave the bathhouse yet. That's what I'm trying to say, right? We go back upstairs, And Yubaba goes to Chihiro like, well, you got to deal with No Face. You let this guy in. It's your problem now, right? And then she looks at the mouse and goes, ew, what's that dirty mouse doing here? It's her baby. Fucking kills me, dude. And the little mouse's face. So sad, man.
Yeah.
So sad. So basically, she confronts No Face, and No Face is fucking losing it still. And she goes, I think you need this. And she like throws the other piece of the medicine into his mouth, and he starts getting all barfy and scary. And this is when I had to turn the movie off with my daughter. This is when she was like, I can't watch this anymore. Which was crazy. And then the No Face barfs a dude up, and the dude goes, wow, what an esophagus. Fucking killed
Does
me.
he? Is that what he says?
Yeah, dude. In the
Okay.
dub, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, but I like that there's like little pieces of comedy in this movie.
I was gonna say I like that there's like stuff in the dub that like got you cracked up that
Yeah.
I didn't get those jokes.
I love it, dude.
You know
Watch
what I
the
mean?
dub. It's great.
Yeah. Watch
And,
the sub. It's also great.
Well, this dub, if we're going to talk subs
tell.
versus dub for a minute, like the budget on this dub was so high.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It's a much higher, especially
top-notch
because
dub, dude.
of Disney.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
I do want to say that like a high budget does not a good dub make.
Fair. Fair.
Hiring a bunch of A-list Hollywood live action movie stars and saying, "Hey, do animated voice acting now,"
Yeah.
doesn't always lead to good
No.
things.
Sometimes it's bad casting too. Fucking Billy Bob Thornton in Princess Mononoke is a weird casting choice.
There's some
Yeah.
weird ones for sure.
Oh,
so
no.
that's why I
that
hesitate.
one is a bad. Yeah, that one's actually a really bad dub.
I've
Yeah.
only watched the dub of that one too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot of the reason why it's bad is the localization and the translation.
Yeah, fair
Really,
enough.
right? Like
Fair enough.
of what it is.
Yeah.
Right? So
Okay, we're getting close. So now No Face is barfing.
Yep.
And Chihiro and Lin are trying to get out of there to go rescue Haku or whatever, or to go release the spell of Haku. So they get outside. They get on this stupid fucking boat. Who builds a boat like that?
it's old school, old timey Japan.
But even old timey Japan can figure out rowing like this is better than rowing like this.
it's old timey
less
Japan.
materials needed.
I guess so. Made me annoyed this time. Before
Yeah.
I never thought about it.
Yeah.
This time I was like, come on.
Yeah. It's
Anyways, and No Face is following them, right?
Yep.
And he's all like kind of wonky and like dopey now, right? So they eventually get to the train station, and Chihiro gets on the train with the mouse and the fly and No Face. And this is my Easter egg, okay? So there's all these shadowy men on the train. And there's this actually like really cool sequences where you see her like hardened stoic face close up in like profile, and she's like really like a serious person now.
Well, I think she's also reflecting on how much she's been through.
She's just for once having a quiet moment where she's
Yeah.
just sitting and she's just waiting to get to the next part. You know what I mean? And you're right. She's reflecting and dealing with it. So here's the thing. They pull into a train station and a bunch of spirits get off, and she looks at the window, and there's clearly an image of a little girl, shadowy spirit, looking right at her. And I looked up online because I'd never noticed it before. And I looked up online, and people actually think that might be the girl from Grave of the Fireflies in the spirit world.
Oh God. Oh God, that gave me goosebumps.
There you go, buddy.
Oh,
Yeah,
That'd be
I
cool.
mean, maybe wrong,
That's such,
but it's good, right?
Yeah. That'd be
yeah,
very cool.
that would be very cool.
Right?
Because that movie was super sad.
I've actually never seen it.
Oh, if there's one,
cover it, maybe.
if you don't cry in that movie, you're a fucking monster.
Dude, I'm not gonna cry, and you're gonna call me that. And we're gonna have to deal with that one day. Okay, so meanwhile, all this is happening. Haku confronts Yubaba back at the bathhouse.
Yeah.
And he says to her, "Something special to you has been replaced. You didn't even notice." And she immediately turns around and goes to look at her pile of gold. Right? And what's funny is it's not the gold, it's her baby, right? And the baby turns back into the three heads, and she goes, "What?" But then she looks back at the gold, and it also turns to dirt. So both of those things were gone, right?
Yeah.
Which was really funny to me, kind of clever.
Yeah.
So okay, and then now we're back going to Zaniba's. We finally get to Zaniba's, and she's like, "Call me Granny," and she's like kind of twisted. She's like kind of weird, almost creepier than Yubaba. At least Yubaba is transparent about what she is.
Yeah.
Zaniba's just like a little twisted old lady who's been living in the woods too long. Do you know what I mean?
It
I
kind of
got
gives
vibe
you
from
that
her.
like what was it, Hansel and Gretel like witch vibes.
A little bit. Like,
Yeah.
you know, she's
But-
not going to eat them, but also she's just weird.
Yeah, and
She's
you know
weird.
what I think though is that they had to make her, as far as character goes, that juxtaposition and the opposite of Yubaba.
Yeah.
Because they use the identical character.
Literally
right?
costume, face, shape, everything.
right?
Same.
So
So, okay, so they get there and they explain to her what happened. Oh, he barfed up. Here's your seal. He barfed up, and there was a black slug. And she laughs. She's like, "That wasn't my spell. That was Yubaba's spell. The slug, apparently." And she goes, "My spell's different. And you've already broken it." She goes, only love can break my spell. And I'm like, fuck me again with this shit, dude.
That was a bit of a stretch.
Right. And then here's another one. They're hanging out there at Granny's for a little while. And as they're getting ready to leave, she gives her a hair tie and she goes, here, this will protect you. It's made from the threads your friends wove together. And again, I'm like, fuck me again with this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And also that hair tie didn't do anything. It didn't come into play.
Well, no, I think it's symbolic more than anything.
Sure. Fair enough. Either way.
Plays a symbolic role because, a little thing called the red thread of fate.
Yeah.
I think it was blue, though.
I don't think it was. I'm pretty sure it was a reddish color.
Senpai, look it up for us.
I'm pretty sure.
We'll look
it
it up
was
another time.
Yeah,
You have to look it
anyways.
up now.
But also, it serves as a reminder for her when she leaves that
Sure.
it happened.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair
Because
enough.
it doesn't leave her hair when she crosses over.
Sure.
There's a split second that you see after she's crossed through the tunnel again.
Oh, it's still
that
in
it's
her
still in her hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I don't
There
hate
it
it.
is.
I don't hate it. So then Haku shows up in full dragon glory, and he's like posing outside the door in his like I don't know you've always ever seen him flying or injured or lying down, and he's just standing there. It's fucking glorious, dude. It's fucking glorious. And they go to leave, and No Face stays with Zeniba. Zeniba's like, I could use a little helper, and now we know how No Face's story ends. And I was like, it's kind of great, actually. I love it. Yeah.
It's a purpley pink hair tie.
Okay.
So we were kind of both right.
Yeah,
I
we
said
were.
blue. I said red. You said blue, and it's purple.
Purple.
Damn.
There you go.
Hey, that's what happens when friends work together.
We're friends.
I hope so. Still. I hope so. Still. Yeah.
Finish him.
Yeah. This one didn't ruin us.
You're right. It definitely did not.
Okay, so Haku and Chihiro fly back, and while they're flying, she remembers the whole thing that happened to her, and she remembers the Kohaku River, right? And she's like, I almost drowned, and you saved me. I think you're the Kohaku River. And the scales fly off in this ultra dramatic scene.
Yeah.
And they float in the sky
Gorgeous.
like petals. Man.
Such a beautiful scene when they're
Right?
falling through the sky together. Oh
And
my
that
God.
is an iconic moment. And also, do I think that maybe Weathering with You was a little bit of a nod to
It
that?
gave me the
Yeah,
same
same
feels,
vibes,
bro.
man.
100%.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
100%.
Beautiful. Anyways, they get back, and there's the one final test, right? Yubaba is like, you have to be able to pick which pig's your mom and your dad, and then I'll let them free. And she immediately knows that it's none of them. And I'm like, why? How would she know? Probably some stupid magic, like the threads her friends wove together, or love, or something.
Yeah, it
But-
could just be intuition, right? Like,
Sure.
Like-
I guess so.
There's some
Yeah.
stretches being made towards the end. We kind of glossed over it real quick, but like her suddenly remembering
Yeah.
the river event.
Why then?
And the name of the river.
Well,
and all
actually-
these things, like the timing just was like
Yeah.
a little too
That
convenient.
being said, though, I think if I was going to have another explanation, of which I have a good record for on this
Yeah,
episode
give it
so
to me.
far,
Yeah. Help me.
She's riding him. And when she almost drowned, I bet you he rode her out of the river.
Yeah.
Like, flew her out of it as a dragon.
and so it
and I get
triggered.
that. That
Yeah.
makes sense. But is that enough to trigger this traumatic memory she had years earlier that she clearly
No.
forgot?
Probably
not
not.
just a little bit about, forgot about
Completely.
entirely happening.
Yeah.
And she rides on this dragon's back, and that's going to trigger not only the event, but
Yeah.
the finest details of the event, like the
Yeah.
name of the river.
Well, and I'm thinking, yeah.
It's just that
Okay.
one. I was like,
Yeah, that
I'm,
one
I'm
I'll
on
give you.
board for this
Yeah.
as a plot point, but that was what I said earlier. I
Yeah.
didn't feel like they earned that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Reveal yet. Give me something else in the story
Yeah.
that's building that and giving her more hints about
Sure.
this
Like as
happening.
if like the Kohaku River was the river that was behind her house that
Or
she would
the-
always play in or something
Sure.
like
Yeah,
that, right?
or
Like,
when they pull the sludge out of the stink thing, you know what I mean? And like maybe there's a sign
little
that
flash.
a sign
Yeah.
that
Little
comes
flash,
out that
yeah.
says Kohaku River this way with like an
Yeah.
arrow on it, and she
Sure,
reads
maybe.
it and she's like,
Wait a minute.
Kohaku River.
Yeah.
Where-
Or
and,
like another
even
one,
that-
dude.
yeah,
In
would be
that
enough.
scene,
you
she's
just need a
submerged.
bit more foreshadowing.
Yes.
Yeah.
In
Earn
that
it.
scene, she's submerged in water. How easy would it have been to give her a quick memory flash then?
Flashback
Yeah.
of her in water, and then flash of scales or
Who
something,
knows?
and she
Yeah.
comes back out. She's like, "What the fuck?"
Well,
that
they
would have been
wanna-
perfect.
They want to save the reveal. They don't want you to think. They don't want
Yeah.
to give it to you.
I don't know if it would have really
Yeah,
given it away
you're
though.
right.
That's the thing, right? Because there's nothing that was saying Haku was a river spirit, right? You just saw a little boy and a dragon.
The only foreshadowing for that is the only other river spirit we know is also a Haku-ish dragon.
Dragon, yes.
So there is a
Also-
little foreshadowing there.
Also,
but
the
you're
little bit
right.
of foreshadowing is that he knows her name.
That's right.
when she first gets
That's
there.
right. And he
So
says,
you
I've
know-
known you since you were really young. Yeah.
Exactly. So that was the only thing. And it's the
Yeah.
very beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And then at the end, they're just like, hey, remember that thing we
Yeah.
mentioned one time?
Yeah.
Check out this huge bombshell reveal.
Sure.
And it's just like, okay, come on.
I think it's got to be a spirit worlds connection. She's
Yeah.
on his back, and suddenly the spirit world has reconnected them, and the memory
Yeah.
floods back in. But you're right; they
Or
didn't
like
earn
she
it.
could,
They
she
didn't
could
earn
have
it.
almost died, and she was almost in the spirit world, or like half in the spirit world.
Yeah,
and
sure.
then she was pulled back because
Yeah.
she was saved.
Could
Totally.
be. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, we're pretty much done here. The
Yeah.
parents
Cool.
come back to life. The spirits rejoice.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And they go back out and they leave in their car, which is now covered in leaves. And somehow the parents are going to figure out how to rectify that they disappeared for a couple weeks.
Her, her guessing correctly. Was there a tip off for that, or was that intuition?
Her guessing that there's none of them were
that her,
parents?
yeah, her parents were
See,
not.
that's what
of-
I'm trying to
of the
figure. That's what I'm
pigs.
trying to
I
figure
feel
out.
like it was just complete intuition.
Yeah.
I don't like it, to be honest
Yeah.
with you.
The
'Cause
idea that she would know her parents' faces even if they were pigs.
I guess
Is that
so.
like the idea that her connection to them was so strong that she would even know?
But I
The problem
also
is
think,
there's no definitive way to answer that question.
no. But here's the
saying.
thing,
Yeah.
right? Like if you, as a kid, and you're so sensitive to those things, and being so sensitive to like knowing who your parents are, like if you put your kid, for example, in a room and you're not in there,
Yeah.
right? She's gonna know, like even
Yeah.
if everybody's nice and sweet, right? Like
I think that's more so the case with like a baby than like my kid who's 7 or she who's like 10 or 12. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a baby, they don't have the like the senses are heightened in that regard. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Maybe
don't know, man.
here's a theory. Maybe it was a test. Maybe her parents might have been among the pigs there, but it was a test to see if she would basically
Take any.
just accept that her parents were pigs or not. And in that moment, she was being put to the test, being like, "Which of these pigs is your parents?" And she's just like, "My parents aren't here because my parents aren't pigs.
Yeah.
My parents are not here right now."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and it showed her loyalty to her parents and not to look at them as the pigs that she had been shown that they were, right?
Yeah.
Because it was almost like the spirit world was trying to show her, like, your parents are fucking pigs.
Yeah.
They're gross.
Yeah.
And she was just like, at the end, she was like, had an opportunity to be like, my parents are pigs, and they're those two pigs right there. But
Yeah.
instead, she said,
My parents aren't
my
here.
parents aren't here because my parents aren't pigs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So bring them back, and then I'll point them out.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That's kind of like that's
All right.
maybe right.
All right, yeah, I'll take it.
It's as good as anything because I don't think they gave us anything else to go off
Yeah.
of there.
We could-
other
we
than
could,
just this little girl making the greatest call of all time.
Yeah.
It was a weird one.
Yeah,
it's
it
not
was a-
like
it was
they
a
built
trick
her up.
question.
It's
It
not
was
like
a
they
trick
built her up
question.
to be an
Yeah.
intuitive kid. So like there has to be something. You know what I mean?
No,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
don't know.
Help us out, Shweebs.
Yeah,
Come
really.
on. Help me.
Yeah,
They don't need help.
Jay's hurting.
I need help.
This movie just lost an entire point for Jay because of that one scene, I think.
Nah. At that point, I was just like probably crying.
Fair
so.
enough.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last line is worth mentioning because they're walking out, and the dad, who doesn't realize he's been a pig for a few weeks,
Yeah.
and doesn't know anything about what Chihiro just went through, goes, new home, new school, could be scary. And Chihiro's response is, I think I can handle it.
Yeah.
A little cheesy, a little on the nose
But-
to end the movie like that, but also we talked about that in Perfect Blue.
Yeah.
How the ending was like a little cheesy, the way she like is just me now, puts the sunglasses
Yeah.
and drives off.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
But also it worked, and I
It
was okay
worked.
with it.
Also,
Yeah.
I can't remember specifically the last line of the sub. If maybe it was worded a little differently.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing to keep in mind with.
Yeah.
I won't get hung up on the
Yeah.
sub versus dub, but
Sure.
cheese
Yeah.
often comes from Western
I believe it.
localizations.
I believe it, yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
If anything, like Japanese like subtitles can be a little robotic.
Yeah. Mhm.
Whereas dubs, I find, can go a little harder on like the Western cheese.
I believe it, yeah.
So,
Like
I
she's
believe
just
it.
like, yeah, I got it.
Especially
maybe
when
the
the dub-
Japanese is not so bad.
Well, and especially when the dub is paid for by Disney. They're going to lean into the cheese,
kidding.
right?
Yeah, that's
100%.
also true, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I would see them influencing a lot of that.
For sure, yeah. But that's it.
That's it.
We did it.
Dude.
Fuck.
Great movie.
An
Fucking
epic.
fantastic
An epic.
movie.
Yeah.
Let's hit our
So-
ratings because I think we were all going pretty much in the same zone on this.
Yeah,
bad
okay.
boy.
I'll rate it. And my rating's weird because the first 6 or 7 times, or maybe 10 times I watched this movie, 9 out of 10 easy.
Yeah.
Right? Now, probably sitting at a solid 8. And part of that is probably because I've watched it so many times, it doesn't have the impact anymore. So I rated it based on this watch.
Ah,
Okay. Overall in my life, it's a very important movie to
Yeah.
me. You know what I mean? So like again, if we did this episode after the first time I watched it, I'm probably giving it a 9, 9.5. I'm probably saying the line, I don't give 10s.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I've seen it so many times, right?
Yeah.
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 Mikey.
I give it a 9. I give it a solid 9. Like, it's so influential. It's so whimsical, especially for the Ghibli movie. Like, but here's the thing: for me, I love the more gritty Ghibli stuff.
Hold
like
on,
Prince
let
of
Jay
Mononoke.
do his rating, and then let's talk about Ghibli movies really briefly.
Yeah.
Rating for this?
I'd say 9.5.
Wow.
Wow.
Just
yeah,
like that.
It's basically perfect.
Yeah.
Except for, like I said, I have
Couple of stretches towards the
couple
end.
of little ones, like literally the Haku name reveal. How does she know that? And then
Yeah.
how does she guess?
Yeah.
I feel like those answers may be there,
Yeah.
but I feel like I have to work too hard now to figure it out.
Sure.
So that's
Okay.
why 0.5 loss. That's not bad.
That's
Okay.
not. Yeah, that's not bad at all.
But anyways, you were
like
talking Ghibli
9.5 is
Yeah, so-
almost perfect.
as
Near
high
mints.
as I've given
Yeah.
to anything so
Yeah.
far.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what I was going to say about Ghibli movie and why I interrupted you, because we all agree this is Miyazaki at his finest, but to me it's his second best movie.
Princess
Oh,
Mononoke.
Princess Mononoke
Yes.
is the best movie.
100%.
My
Hands
favorite.
down, yeah.
My favorite as
Yeah.
well.
Like, I haven't watched it with a notepad yet, but as right now, it's the closest to a 10 of an animated movie I've
Then
ever
let's
seen.
fucking do it, boys.
We should do it. It's true. See, yeah, because Princess Mononoke also came out when all that 90s hand-drawn animation and like things being more extreme
Yeah.
was more prevalent, and also
sure.
the subject matter, and especially for a teenage boy who liked things that were a bit more intense.
Yeah.
And appreciating it even more so as I got older. For
sure.
Right, and
For
understanding the plight of Irontown and like the spirits and balancing on and all that stuff, right? Like it just ages better in that way.
I haven't watched it in so long because it's not a movie my daughter can handle.
No,
Do you know what I'm saying?
Not
And
right
so-
now.
so, like,
anyway.
and she's
Purely,
7 now.
purely an adult film.
I need to watch it again.
really is. That's really more of like an adult film.
Yeah.
Purely.
Which is cool. You're
it's
not
in-
getting that from
yeah.
Disney again, like
Yeah.
we said. You're not going to get that out of Disney.
Where this is way more whimsical.
Yeah.
Howl's Moving Castle's more whimsical.
Yeah.
Like Ponyo is
Yeah.
just Little Mermaid, but
Totally.
like
I
Literally a
ranked my
child's movie.
Yeah.
I ranked my Miyazaki movies. Do you want to hear my ranking?
okay,
Princess Mononoke,
yeah,
Spirited Away,
Yeah.
Howl's Moving Castle, Nausicaa, and a weird one that's maybe just for me, but Secret World of Ariadne.
Ah.
Honorable
What?
mention to Totoro, who is a legend.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but it's not an easy watch
that
for me
is
at
a
this
weird
stage
one.
of my life.
Secret World of
I
Ariadne.
love that
like,
movie, dude.
You know what?
I love
It
that
just.
movie.
I think for me, when it came out and after watching The Borrowers
Yeah.
as a kid,
Yeah.
it's like there's too much connection there
Yeah, for sure.
that I couldn't like detach from in my brain.
Fair enough.
But yeah.
All right,
Anyways,
fellas.
we're good, man.
Let's wrap this one up.
All right.
Everybody, where can we find you?
Jordy.
Jordy.
Oh, me? Yeah. At Reaching In on Instagram.
Yeah.
That's where I am.
Yeah. I'm Mikey. I'm at Korean Barbecue 86. I've got cats. I've got toys. I also have a little tiny bonsai tree with Totoro and like No Face and like the little sprites.
It's cute.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Figures.
You're so
That's
cute.
adorable.
I know. I made it.
The cute.
Oh, you made that?
You got to.
Well, I got all the like the pieces.
you built
and,
it, like,
yeah,
together?
put it together.
Oh, damn.
You got to
That's
put a little
crazy.
radish spirit in there for yourself.
Yeah.
Cat bus there?
Oh fuck! I wish I should
We
get
gotta
a
get
cat
you a
bus.
cat bus.
Yeah.
I got the scarecrow too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can find me at hanger.91 on Instagram and hanger91.bigcartel.com for your nerd gear and merch, prints, all that fun stuff.
Hell yeah.
I did not attempt any Spirited Away stuff because
Miyazaki.
I don't have balls that big. So
Too funny.
there's plenty of good Spirited Away merch out there already. Go find some.
There you go.
Go to Hot Topic.
Yeah. All right, Shweebs. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah. Thanks
see you
for
next
another
week.
episode. Bye,
Bye,
guys.
everyone.
Peace.